This guy's kind of jamming out, honestly. Like, look at him go. He's having a great time. He loves the song. Broadside Betrayal. Mutiny aboard the Last Reaper. Why, they never made another one. Oh, that guy's head's backwards. He's not doing good. Cutlass inspection? The man is bleeding out. It doesn't say the man is not breathing. That's the usual message in most of the games, honestly. He's bleeding out? Are you implying he's still alive? A cutlass? A dagger? Ah, I guess he is still alive. Just hanging in there. Cutlass inspection. Swift? Huh. Swift still using cutlass made of cheap, low-grade metal, replaced soon. Lane, Nunda, and Valerio's cutlass blunt, sharpened soon. Then prepare to lose your life, just as you and your followers lost your vote. He's frothing. A cutlass and an axe. Why is he frothing? Quick now. We're wanted in the captain's quarters. I feel like that's a weirdly low stakes thing to bring up in this context. You ain't going nowhere unless you go through me first. That's an intense face. I wonder if they're specifically demoing a new animation style thing. I seem to remember the later DLC of the first game also like getting started at new ideas for the sequel, kind of about like how they're going to shift up the design. These look wild. Cutlass. I'm gonna identify who people are based on what weapon they're using. Iron Eye. Whoop whoop. What is that out there? Oh, that looks super weird. Okay. Oh, hey, it's that guy. Did he have a prosthetic nose the whole time? I guess so. This looks really good right here, as far as like the art style of this game with all the motion tweening stuff or whatever. This background bit looks really weird because the ship is just wobbling up and down. It feels like I'm looking through a piece of glass, and it's drawn on the glass, so it's closer to me than the background, and when I move around, it moves way more than the surrounding stuff. Like, it just does not look good in the water. Sorry, lad. There's only room for me and my boy. It's every man for himself now. So there's the real map. A harpoon. A cutlass. So, like, you would think that he was killed over the map, but then the person failed to successfully steal the map? Weird. Was he killed for unrelated reasons? The boy is comatose. Oh. He's just out. I assume we're gonna keep going further back in time, so we're probably gonna find out why he's comatose in the next sequence. We're also jumping back and forth between the two eras of time, which is wild. This is a crazy conceit for the DLC to have. Have you lost your wits? We're on the same bloody side. Pull me aboard. A cutlass. Yeah, so we'll be able to check everyone's weapons to figure out who they are at some point, I think, given the cutlass inspections, or at least narrow it down somewhat. Huh. I like this character's design. He's very immediately recognizable as a through line for these stories, or maybe I guess we'll see if he keeps showing up or not. I'm kind of thinking that he dies in the first one, but that's the one that takes place at the end of the timeline in the prequel bits, and that we'll keep going further backwards. In particular, I think that the 1797 bits are going to keep going backwards in time. And then I think the 1927 ones are going to keep going forwards in time. It seems like the way that I would try to tell this kind of story, at least. What's this note say? To all hands aboard the Last Reaper. With the untimely passing of Captain Triton, the fate of this ship now lies in the hands of her crew. As per the pirate code, the new leadership shall be decided by vote. The following terms are hereby set forth. The vote shall take place on the deck at high noon. Each crew member shall cast one vote, with the exception of the powder monkey, whose rank doth not grant him such privilege, and the candidates themselves. The powder monkey, I assume, is not literally a monkey, but the guy who puts the powder in the cannons or something. If there's exactly one exception, that seems like a dubious way to vote, given that controlling who gets to vote affects the outcome of the vote. That's voter suppression. That looks like it's a bullet. Yep. So that's a bullet from the ensuing fight that happened. Alistair Sims beat William Nunda by 1 vote, but now people are murdering each other. I thought that was a cell phone. I was like, what is this guy doing? A ladder. You may outnumber us, but we're twice the sailors you'll ever be. Surrender now, and I might let you keep breathing. A dagger, a kukri, a cutlass. It's a lot of weapons. The pile of cannonballs. Is he the powder monkey? I ain't cut out for this. I chop meat, not men. Oh, he's the butcher, I guess. The cook. I don't want to die down here all alone. Ma, please watch over me. Dude, he's the eye twitching. They're really trying some stuff out with the animation in this one. It's a trip. It's funny because some details are so rare, but then other things are like, I'm like, what's going on with him? Why is his head moving like that? Why is it that when he turns his head backwards, his scalp moves forward on one side of his head? I'm just like, strange. I think we're ready to go under. Yarg, there he is. Ahoy, men! Get your backsides here now. We've a mutiny in our hands. That's what they meant by needed in the captain's quarters, actually. So I assume there's the guy who won. Got a pocket watch, a flintlock, and a cutlass. So I assume that's Alistair Sims. You and your followers lost the vote. Might not be that obvious about how to tell. Because this guy says you guys lost the vote. So is that William in there then? Because these people are working with the captain. And they're opposing each other. Take this, you filthy rat. To do. See to Garner's nose, Horn's leg. So Garner and a horn. I guess we already knew Garner. I need to figure out what everyone's job is. Powder monkey. Don't know who the powder monkey is. This guy inspects weapons or something. This guy's the cook. Powder monkey might be the guy in a coma, the son, who would you expect to be low rank, but this person has much stuff on their face, so they might be the powder monkey. You're no captain. You couldn't find gold in the gunner's gob. So many weapons to keep track of. Oh, they're not a powder monkey. The more I say it, the more weird it sounds. That's the toxin of the... Was it the pufferfish? It gives you blue spots. So that's not gunpowder. I would expect the gunpowder monkey to be the sun. But I honestly don't know if we even have all the information I need. Yeah, where am I gonna get all these gray names from? Oh my goodness. I think I need to go to the future to even finish getting the words. I was gonna try to organize who people are, but... Damn, the skeletons are still on I guess they weren't on the deck, they were below decks, but yeah, they still had skeletons abound. What is that? Oh, it's a harpoon. How? So I guess that guy got harpooned. That's out there right now. But what is this? It doesn't show me what that is, because that's not the same stick. I assume that the researchers put something there that sticks up, like a straw or a flag or a buoy that would like indicate where that site is so they can inspect it. But how is the location where they died still near the ship? Oh, there's rocks here. I guess that this is like a moment before it runs afoul of the rocks and is lost at sea. Because right now it's smashed into rocks, so it's been sticking here for a while. The ship's falling apart. Let's leave. Tell the old geezer to forget whatever junk he saw that drew him down there. Expedition contract. The spoils of this expedition shall be split among the 6 parties as follows. 35% for Antoine Spilsbury, sponsor. 15% for Jasper Wiles, Eliza Swan, and Ivan Cairns each. 10% for Radigan Olita and Myrtle Song. An engraved cigar case. A ruby ring. So is this the sponsor then? Because we met everyone else, right? We never met Ivan Keers. He might have been in the cutscene before this mission, but I don't know. We didn't meet him during the last mission, at least. The mast is toppled. Skull discovered. So we discovered all the skeletons, I guess. So I need to identify who all the people are, and then I need to figure out which skeleton is which, apparently. A grating. It's funny to me that it's like, you discovered the skeletons, but I only had to click on one skeleton. I guess they're just not that hidden. Well, that one is. Maybe I had to click on that one too. Are you all right down there? He heard something? He seems to think something's down here. Oh, yeah. Weird scratching marks. That kind of looks like there's blood out there. There's a pipe, which is still burning. But it's unclear to me if this guy dropped it or not. So there is a shiny gem down there. So there's loots. Are you alright down there? Does that mean that... Is the idea that this is not the geezer? Someone even more geezery is down there? And maybe lost at sea? What's going on down there, Ivan? I assume this is Ivan. Jules Sutcliffe, Roger McDonald, and Myrtle Song. We knew that before. Okay. Oh, I can go below decks over here. There's a ring. Okay, this guy got shot in the head. You got axed. You got impaled. You got stabbed in the eye. Uh-huh. There's gonna be a lot to keep track of, but okay. Look here. I found the ship's log, and it contains the name of that bosun we saw mentioned in the battered cod. First mate, second mate, navigator, bosun, master at arms, helmsman, gunner, carpenter, sailmaker, rigger, cook, powder monkey. So Jacques Triton was the captain. Cyril Ament was the quartermaster. Ada Baker was the surgeon. Jim Co. Jenkins and Tom Atkin were seamen. Walter Keane was scrivener. But those were all, they all seemingly died? There's even descriptions. Alright, yeah, Stephen Gardner is the powder monkey, so it's the sun. There should be a second Garner. Elazar Gardner's boat. Right, we knew that. We learned that last time. Bosun. Okay. So that's the easy two. Let's see. So captain is not an option, which makes me think that the titles had not been updated yet, so he was going to be the captain or something, but we need to figure out who they are from that perspective. Okay. Very interesting, Jasper. Good work. Why does it give me Jasper's name? I guess because I need to tell the story. So in one of the events documents, I'll just be pointing out those people. Okay. What is up with this guy's face? He looks like he has mandibles. Those are crazy pointy teeth, too. Let's see here. Switching over to display capture so I can use this. Oh, popped my knee. Ow. Okay. So, this is going to be a little bit of a pain to cross-reference, so let's do this. There we go. Okay, so we can look at the document directly via the seam overlay. And it'll probably come in handy just to be able to see what's going on in this room right here. This lets us look at the skeletons. So I think I want to be able to look at these skeletons, but maybe without having to go back and... I can keep you on the screen. Just let me do it without having to come back to this part of the map over and over again. Oops, not print screen. There we go. Okay. So then we can go back to the past and do what we best can to identify who all these people are crew-wise. So Swift is specifically the person who has a shitty cutlass, apparently. Lane, Nunda, and Valerio also have cutlasses. So if we're going by that, there should only be 4 cutlasses. Yeah, that looks like a sharp cutlass. That looks sharp. That one does seem either blunt or shit. Sharp. I maybe can't judge whether or not a cutlass is sharp. Alright, so that's 1 cutlass, 2 cutlass, 3 cutlass, 4 cutlass. He's the 5th cutlass, but he has his own. Oh. I'm thinking that it's not conclusive. This isn't complete. So Lane, Nunda, and Valera's cutlasses are blunt. That's a blunt one, I think. And that's a blunt one. That's a blunt one. They look like they have literally the same appearance. But then one of them is of low-grade material. How do I tell which one's low-grade material? That's separate from the blunt ones. I don't know. These look like the same item. Little notch right here. Wooden handle. So they appear to be literally the same asset. Little notch, wooden handle. Little notch, wooden handle. Is there one that's supposed to look different? I don't know. Either way, we probably know who this guy is, so let's work on that. He should be the cook. Man at arms, because you're inspecting everyone's weapons. I'm inclined to think that you're the rigger because you're up here. He's the one using the ropes. If this was Return of the Obra Dinn, then that would be part of the logic of figuring out who he is. He'd be like, oh, well, he sure likes that wheel. He must be the helmsman. The way I had people yelling at me like, it's so obvious. He's touching the wheel, so he must be the guy who drives the ship. And I'm like, they're not driving right now. They're doing a portrait. Like, whatever. You have a clock and a hook hand. This guy's got the leg. So we know your name. Was it on you? Horn's leg. So this is Horn. So if we go to the roster, we can figure out who Horn is. Little Alex Horn, helmsman. So that's helpful. What's your, oops. What's your thing that stands out? I don't know what, to be clear, I don't know what anyone, what the meaning is of what anyone is wearing. So that's gonna be a bit of a challenge. We know you're the bosun, and we know your son is the powder monkey. I don't like that term anymore. Let's see, I can remove bosun and powder monkey and cook and man-at-arms. Right? Because man-at-arms is the guy, yeah, responsible for weapons. That's what that means. And helmsman. I'm not 1000% sure about rigger. I just kind of went with that. But we can reduce the remaining people down to this probably. Try not to hit sort again. So there's a first mate and a second mate. Navigator, rigger, sailmaker, gunner, carpenter. How do I spot the carpenter? Dagger. An axe. It seems to imply that he successfully gets through these guys and goes in there, because somebody died to an axe in here. Oh, the nose and the leg. You're the carpenter. I don't need your name. That's not how that works. Carpenter. Now my struggle is I'm bouncing between these menus in like the wrong order now. You know, Captain, you couldn't find gold in the gunner's gob. The gunner's gob. The gunner has gold teeth. I don't see any gold teeth. Everyone's teeth colorations are kind of all over the place. Okay, sweet burn, but who's the gunner? Oh, right, down here. Are you the gunner then? Yep. Okay, so I don't need to look at the, yeah, I don't need names. So that's the gunner down there. We're rapidly filling these in now. Rapidly, I say about this game. Something about who the vote was about. William Nunda and Alistair Sims. There's no indication of who these two characters are. Wait, no, Alistair Sims and William Nunda. Right, they're both in here. The first mate and the second mate. Okay. I have no idea who voted for what or who this guy is. How do I know if you're the first mate or the second mate? They say mutiny, so this guy confused me and made me think the teams were backwards, but I take it that the person who won the vote is the one who's saying it's a mutiny. So let's say that Alistair, like let's say that's that. So we'll say the first mate won. If I'm correct so far, would take us down to Navigator, Sailmaker, and second mate. Does somebody have a compass? Not you. Oops. You have 3 weapons, which is not a compass. Is the Navigator who ran for it? He's got like the mark of the double cross of the pufferfish on his back. Dull blade. Sharp blade. The 2 of the 3 remaining people have dull blades. Lane, Nunda, and Valerio. Second mate has a dull blade. Navigator Peter Lane and Gunner Valerio. Lane, Nunda, Valerio. Second mate, Navigator, and Gunner are the ones I don't have too, right? We have the Gunner. Yeah. So that's Valerio, so it's... yeah, Lane and Nunda. Second mate and Navigator. And you're the one that has a good blade? No. It's you that has a good blade. So you're not the second mate or the navigator. So you're the sailmaker. I think I'd take this guy to be the navigator. And I don't know. What do we know about either of these guys? They just have dull blades and are angry. He doesn't have a very distinguished outfit, but this guy's not even wearing clothes as far as I can tell. God damn it. Oh, what am I missing about these characters? There's rings. Some of the rings might help indicate they're fucking blasting off with sword. I can't see their ring fingers because they're firing guns. You prick. Okay, that's a silver ring. So that guy dies in there. We'll get to that later. I need to deal with which one of you is which. God damn it! That should be the sailmaker. So it's second mate and navigator. What would it indicate to me either of them as the second mate or the navigator? You'd think to find, like, they have no items. We're on the same side, pull me aboard. Is the implication that they both voted for, like, is that William Nunda out there? If they're doing a mutiny, you'd expect that the leader of the mutiny is still on the ship, right? So I'm gonna think that this is the second mate, and that's the navigator. Okay, I think that might have been the logic I needed. It's like, oh, like, what's the point of a mutiny if the guy it's about took off? But yeah, this guy took off to protect his son. Alright, I can sort these again. Going from here. Let's see here. The victim here is the first mate. That guy's got the gold tooth, so that is the gunner. I was right about this guy being the rigger. Okay, so the one with the silver ring is the rigger. He died right here. That guy. Gold ring next to this guy. Stabbed eye. It seems like you're the one shooting him. So Sailmaker killed the first mate. I think the other guy just missed. Going by the scene we're seeing here. Let's see. The clothes are pretty gone. They both had guns, so somebody with a gun died here. This is a little bit of a weird vote, but I think that this person right here is the one that got axed. Because they have a gun and they have weird mandibles? I don't know what's going on with that, but like you can see like weird teeth. What the fuck? I don't know why they look like that. But okay. I'm gonna say the sailmaker got killed by the helmsman because the helmsman has an axe. That one's pretty obvious how that person died. You clearly died to a pistol. Cleaver. Cleaver implies that they were killed by the cook because it's the cleaver. I don't think they expect us to account for crazy complexities. Is this like the unexpected outcome here? Is that they died instead of the other way around? They came after the cook, but then actually lost. I appreciate that the game does actually match the scene when you go back and forth. It doesn't expect you to navigate from a starting point each time. Yeah, so we know that this guy died to the harpoon. Because we know that the other guy survives. So he's killed by the bosun. He is the navigator. The bosun and the powder monkey survive. Still gotta work on telling who everyone else is. Let's see. So bosun survives, powder monkey survives. First mate is there. Gunner, rigger, sailmaker. Navigator? Navigator. Does not hurt to narrow these down as I go so I can tell who's left to figure out. These three died on the deck. Oh, there's the peg leg. Yeah. That means that that's the helmsman. So we're looking for the carpenter, the man-at-arms, the cook, and the second mate's bodies. The man-at-arms, his head was snapped backwards. But is he physically in this room? He apparently has a cutlass and a knife, which I can't see. So I'm assuming that he's holding his cutlass. So he could be this body that's in the same spot overall, which implies it never moved. So these are really weirdly unmoving skeletons for how long it's been, but sure. I'll just go with that, I think. Oh my god, I'm so bad. Okay. Don't know if we know what killed him. Who are you? It seems like he came in and axed him. It kind of seems like this guy won the fight. It looks like he axed the first mate that came in here and axed this guy. But then maybe was stabbed and like just walked out here to die or something. I don't know. He's just like up here. But obviously, in real life, the weapon could just change hands, but it'd be really hard to parse the timeline if that's what was happening. I think this guy was killed by the helmsman. I think he's the second mate? Shit. Yes. One of you is the cook. Cook, carpenter, man-at-arms. I said that guy was the man-at-arms, so cook and the carpenter. It makes sense that the carpenter's the one that's actually in the room that he's currently in down there, and that's the cook. Kind of had like a gold necklace. That might be the gold necklace right there. This guy might have had a gold ring, but it's really hard to tell. This is maybe the person that had the cheap knife. And I think this might be the person that's said to have a cheap cutlass, because here it's split in half. So the cutlass broke, and then they got killed by the axe. Escape. No, it's a verb. Sea splash axe cannonball. Did somebody get hit by a cannonball? Maybe in this. Maybe down below? No, it's definitely a cleaver. I'm gonna assume that the dagger in the eye killed the person that has a dagger in their eye. That person was killed by a harpoon. Dagger. I assume we're not separating that dagger and knife. No. The man. What killed the man at arms? Was it falling? Splash pistol, ladder, map, net, kukri, harpoon, grating, cutlass, dagger, gem, cleaver, cannonball, axe. The weapon has to be gold. Gem. What am I supposed to think here? I guess they were shot, right? That looks like a bullet going through them. Why is their head backwards? Is that not how they died? Is that an artistic license of how much pain he's in and not actually meant to be that his head was snapped? His neck was snapped? It's really throwing me. Like, is that... I don't know what to make of that. Well, you don't have a gun. You do have a gun. And you're behind him. So I guess you got killed by the rigger. There is a hand down here. So the cook got killed by a cutlass. And it was the gunner. So the gunner did actually get him. He cut his hand off. But it took him longer to die. And so he ended up cleaving the gunner in the head in the process. The helmsman died to a dagger. So they most intuitively got killed by the rigger then. The carpenter also died to a dagger. But like, at some point I'm like, did they fall into like a mania where they all fought each other? Like... Like, whose dagger? Part of the struggle is that clearly another person came into this room. Okay, so I don't think that the helmsman got killed by the rigger. I think the helmsman got killed by the other dagger that's in play, which is yours. I can't tell what team people are on though, because these people are opposing the captain, and these two are helping the captain. No. Oh, you two are on the same team against that guy. Okay, I have the teams kind of lined up. So the man-at-arms was loyal with... Okay, it's these... So it's this one and these two versus these two and these two. So these two are doing the attack. You're the one that actually wants to be the leader right now. You're the second in command that wants to become the captain. You were with them but got shot in the back by this guy, and he's yelling at this guy. I thought he was getting ready to attack this guy, and that this guy was the one that he was working with, but he's yelling at this guy. It's like, quick, we gotta get through there. So they're gonna take this guy out. Now they already took out this guy. Okay. I feel like Will Smith trying to parse the weird alien obstacle course in Men in Black. Where I'm just like, what is no, that guy's just sneezing. Okay, I think I figured out the teams then. Gotcha. So then he wouldn't have killed him then because they're on the same team. So then he goes in there, yeah, cleaves this guy's head in half, goes in there and fights them, gets stabbed by the whatever you are, the sailmaker. So the rigger died to one of them. The carpenter was stabbed by the rigger, because that's the person on the other team that has the knife. Okay, so how'd the rigger die? It looks like the rigger got stabbed by... What's their name again? I think the rigger was stabbed by the sailmaker, because it's the broken sword, so it's the shitty one. Okay, we're agonizingly close in a thing that has so many goddamn variables to parse. God damn it. God, it's gonna take a while to interpret what's wrong here. First mate was killed by the sailmaker with a pistol. There's a big hole in their head. And the sailmaker is this person. The gunner was killed by the cook with a cleaver. That's the only cleaver. The carpenter was killed by the rigger with a dagger. That's the only dagger in play, right? That's not on the team. That's the carpenter. It's like a vampire. The rigger's killed by the sailmaker with the cutlass because it's broken, right? That's the implication there. That's the hilt. That's this blade. So they left was a gun. That's when they would have grabbed their knife and stabbed the helmsman. So the sailmaker was chopped up by the helmsman's axe. Got it. Then the second mate, and we are right about the names. Yeah. Killed by the helmsman's axe, and then they took the axe back out because it's not currently in their head anymore. Master at Arms was killed by the rigger via pistol. That seems correct. It is the rigger, and he's behind him with the pistol, and he has a gunshot in his body. Helmsman was killed by the sailmaker with a dagger, because I feel like there's a lot of like mutual kills that happen where one person hits somebody with a big weapon and then the other person responds by getting them back. And it may be a less effective way, but it catches them in the end. The cook was killed by the gunner with a cutlass. The navigator was... Is it literally just the fact that he was killed by the kukri? Is that the only is that it? That's it. It's just the fact that he has a different fucking... yeah. He got killed by that weapon. Got it. That's all I was wrong about. That's goofy, but okay. I guess I was doing a good job then. I need some water. Ooh, okay. Back to this mess. Events... In 1797... No, I said it correctly that time. Wow. In 1797, the last Reaper's Blah was elected the ship's new captain. Okay, so... The first mate was elected the ship's new captain, voted in by the Okay, time's the test. So who was on their team? The navigator, the bosun. Definitely not you two. The rigger and the helmsman. So I need to be... Was it the gunner or the cook? The gunner and the cook killed each other. Oh god. You outnumber us. So is the cook. Let's see. The second mate lost with votes from the gunner, the carpenter, the sailmaker, and the master-at-arms. That night, the Blah and his supporters, second mate and his supporters attacked the first mate's faction. While the fight raged, the bosun and the powder monkey escaped with the map. Hey! Alright, that's a good sign for everything so far. In 1927, Blah went below deck having a blah. Having... spotted a blah through a blah. What do you would call this? The vent? The hole? Through a grating. Tell that old geezer. Doesn't say who's here. I'm gonna go back outside of the level. No one's very old besides the ship captain, right? Ivan Kieran is the explorer. Yeah, the captain's the oldest, right? So as a little review, that's Ivan. That's looking down into this thing. He does just dress like an explorer, like a cartoon character. So Olita was the captain. What did he spot in the grating? Must have been the shiny gem, yeah. And then he mysteriously disappears? I assume he fell down the ladder? It looks like he went in the water. Was he dragged away by the monster? Or... We spotted a gem through a grating, but someone... Blah a blah. See, before being pulled into the sea. I did a blah and blah a blah before being pulled into the sea. What's going on down there? The ship's falling apart. Let's leave. Tell the old geezer to forget whatever junk he saw that drew him down there. A gem, a net. Cannonballs, other stuff. There's a splash. So, like, did the net pull him into the ocean? What happened here? He toppled a ladder. Escaped, heard, pulled, spotted, toppled, shot, hit, fell. I think it's something in net. I'm really struggling with the sentence. I don't know if I get what it's shaped like. Something blah a net, which toppled a ladder, so Redica blah. He fell and hit a cannonball before being pulled into the sea. Pulled a net. There it is. Someone pulled a net. What do I do with that? Several hours after losing the vote, William Nunda's supporters launched a coordinated attack on Alistair Sims's faction. Hit my leg on something. Startled me. On the deck, Nunda and the Master-at-Arms ambushed the helmsman, thinking they had him outnumbered. However, they didn't realize the rigger was above them, making it a fair fight, which they lost. Eventually, everyone killed one another, apart from the bosun and his son, who escaped with a map. More than a century later, the expedition team found the shipwreck. Radigan Olida was lured into a trap and dragged into the sea. Alarming? Who's even doing that? Is somebody trying to start taking out the other crew members for the treasure? It resembles that thing with the, I think it was a Sherlock Holmes story about like a pearl or something like that, where it's like some big valuable thing, and the whole point is that every time people try to get it as a team, they end up tearing each other apart out of greed. My dearest Walter Keane, it is with the deepest gratitude that I put pen to paper. For it was by your noble hand that I was delivered from certain doom during the reign of the Order Party. The time has come to repay my debt in kind, as it is custom of Lemuria, a life for a life. I understand that unfortunate events have rendered you a shadow of the man you once were, bowed and wearied by the weight of cruel fate. Yet take heart, for there exists a remedy. On the 27th of February, a Lemurian sentinel vessel shall depart from the azure heaven and make its course to the volcanic isle of Craven Rock. Or Craven Rock. One of those. Aboard shall be born a number of sacred relics destined for the annual ritual of restraint. Among these artifacts is one of singular power, known as the Wish Bloom. You shall know it by its unmistakable fragrance, both sweet and strong. Should you come into possession of this gift, you will become a new man. Upon my solemn oath as a son of Lemuria, I affirm that all I have written is true. With unwavering loyalty, Ergin 2.